Hey, what's up guys? It's Awkwardly Animated here, and I've been called from my deep dark depths of slumber to make a Bojack Horseman video. Who would have thunk that this would be the video to bring me out of my hiatus, if you want to call it that. So the new trailer came out yesterday as of I'm recording this, and I've since watched it a good 15 or so times, and on my first viewing I didn't think there was much to pick apart from it. It was a very simple trailer, but then the more I watched it I kind of got a lot more out of it, and there's actually a decent amount to unpack here, so it's probably not going to be as long as the last one I did last year, but there's definitely a decent amount of stuff where it's worth warranting making a video on it. So we're just gonna hop right on into it. So yeah, let's get started. Obviously the trailer just kind of jump starts, so the first frame is just Bojack lying in bed looking depressed as usual in his house, and one interesting thing that I really like about the trailer, or one motif as I should say with my film scholar diction, she always says, well, she says it 3 times. She says, you want to change, but you don't know how. And I really like that, the use of that line in particular, because it really gives like context for where we're at. And it really, makes the transition from season 4 to 5 seem, a little more realized as to what Bojack's going to be doing. Like, what is the point of this season, because the way season 4 ends is kind of on a happy note, especially in comparison to the last 3 seasons, and it makes you kind of wonder, like, okay, so is this going to be more like a recovery thing, or is he actually just going to stay being an asshole like he's always been? Hopefully we get some more progression towards becoming a better person. I think we will. It definitely won't be like a regression again. So I should probably stop talking and get into this. So let's just go.
I'm on this new show.
All right, so first shot, we see Bojack in not his car, unless he painted it this hot pink color. I doubt it. I mean, we all like the banana yellow, but then again, these little hubcaps look like there's little horseshoes in them. It could be his car, I'm not sure, but this is his co-star in the show, Filbert, obviously, and he's in the car with her, probably on their way to the Warner Bros set that they have going on here. You'll see that in a second.
Oh, Filbert. I'm Filbert, star of the show.
Hey everyone, Bojack's here, ready to shoot.
Okay, so this is really cool. Diane's new hairstyle here. It's pretty nice, I must say. One thing that always throws me off, though, is this little gray strand. Like, is that just a dyed strand of hair, or is that like her scalp? What is that? I'm assuming it's just a dyed strand of hair, because it's drawn sharply as if it was, but I don't know. Every time I look at it, I can't tell. I feel like that's just her scalp, like, just sticking out. It's weird. I don't know. I'm nitpicking. Let's just
you say you want to get better and you don't know how.
Okay, so what that was basically supposed to show is that since last season he's been trying to tone down on his drinking. Obviously he's not doing a very good job of that, since he drinks way more than he was supposed to for that night.
I'm not someone therapy works on. I might be too smart.
Alright, so this really has no importance, but it has importance to me because I want to call this. So he just spat that out, and I'm just going to call it right here. Pretty sure he spat it out because it's honeydew, and if it's not, I'm going to be actually upset, because, like, why else would he spit that out, Like, it's just a running gag. I guarantee you he spits that out because it's honeydew, and I guess we'll see on the 14th. I don't know. And actually, there is something important here. So this set is a recreation of Bojack's house. Now, I'm not sure as to why that is, but the interesting thing, though, is that this background is like an apocalyptic looking thing, so but it changes. So you'll see what I mean later.
Would it kill?
Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So this is obviously Bojack's house, right? But it's not. It's a recreation, and all these are billboard, like, 2D cutouts of people. They're not real, and this is the background that it used to be. So for whatever reason, they chose this house to be a set, and that it changes from being the normal Hollywood to the weird apocalyptic thing. So I guess that gives you an idea of the Filbert show and what that's going to be about. Not really sure how it correlates to the actual main plot, but it's just something interesting.
Get a smile. You say.
Okay, something very important. If we go back right. Okay, so we see Bojack and Diane, sharing a drink, giving a little toast. Now, at first there doesn't seem to be anything crazy important about this, just two people, hanging out. It's nothing crazy, but we'll get back to it. It's important that it's Bojack and Diane's arm. You can obviously tell because, sleeves and stuff. Just remember
You
that.
say you want to get better and you don't know how.
Is this like an AA?
All right, so a great thing is Hollyhock, Mannheim, Guerrero, Robinson, Zilgerschmeck, Sung, I don't know how to say that part, Fonzarelli McQuack is back. So awesome. I really liked her in the last season. She was one of the best characters in the last season. So it's cool to see her coming back, but I don't think she'll be like super major like how she was last time. She'll just be, tagging along in a few episodes with Bojack, probably helping him out or whatever, but I don't think she'll be like crazy big character, unfortunately.
No, I don't need AA.
Okay, that was the important thing I was talking about. Go back. Okay, so as we see, it's both of them again clinking glasses, this time different glasses from before. Clearly nothing but straight alcohol here instead of wine. And Bojack does not have his clothes on. Why don't you have your clothes on, Bojack? I don't know, it's just a little interesting. Last season she broke up with Mr. Peanut Butter. Could this be a return of the Bojack and Diane romance thing going on again? I mean, we haven't seen that since season 1. What is going on? I don't know. It's one of those you blink it, you miss it kind of things. Like that was split second. I didn't see that the first time.
This is going to be a sensational season of television.
Okay, so there's some fourth wall break in there for a sensational season of television. Nice. Hopefully this is a sensational season. And I like how she's kind of like dressed as a fish because she isn't one. That's kind of funny.
Confusing, which means the show is different.
Okay, so this is the thing I was talking about. So this is clearly like a play off of the Warner Brothers Studios little film sets or whatever. But I'm guessing it's Warner Birds because, the logo and whatever. But this is obviously the red carpet premiere of Filbert or whatever. They're getting, photo shoots and stuff like that. And this balloon's pretty important to later on. So you can, for time, just to tell.
And smart.
Okay, so he has his arm broken at this scene. So that makes me assume that he did some sort of stunt for the show, Filbert or whatever, and just ended up breaking his arm. So this is probably mid-season, maybe around the 5th or 6th episode, probably. Okay, so here is the what's her name? The unnamed asexual fish gal pal for my homie Todd over here. So I don't think, to my knowledge, that she even has a name yet. I think it'll obviously get revealed in this season, but I found it interesting, that they showed her room and what it looks like, all the weird like blandness and pink colors and stuff like that. And can someone please tell me in the comments, what animal is she? I thought she was like some type of fish creature, but I'm like, wait, the fish, they live underwater, they need bowls to breathe, right? So is she not a fish? Like, what? I don't know. She looks like some kind of underwater creature. I have no idea what she is. Let me know, because I'm actually very curious. I want to figure that out. And yeah, so it's just them having a relationship. Todd's gonna get some development across this season with his new thing going on, and you'll see later on what I'm talking about.
I can handle exactly this amount of.
Okay, so this is not really important. It's pretty obvious that this is just kind of like a shock thing to be like, whoa, Mr. Peanut Butter, why is he holding a 12-gauge shotgun? I don't know. It's pretty obvious that this is also the Filbert, because all the Filbert shots have this weird kind of dark look to them, and you could just tell this is just a part of the show or a movie. I'm not sure if Filbert was a movie or a show. I'm pretty sure it was a show, but yeah, this is Peanut Butter. He's just in the thing. You know how he likes to horseshoe his way into Bojack's stuff, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I did not mean to say that. That was a very unintentional pun, and I apologize heavily for that.
Complication.
Okay, so here's another really cool thing. We get Princess Carolyn, and it's a nice flashback. So gotta love those flashback episodes coming back. And I'm gonna assume this is college, not high school. I feel like high school is not really something that they would go back to. So I'm assuming this is college, and this is just one of her college flings or whatever that she used to be with. Hopefully this character, we get to see what he looks like now or what he's doing now, because I don't see why they would show him in a flashback if he's not really relevant to the present in some way. But it's just cool to see that we're going to be getting some flashbacks of that. Oh, and actually, Netflix did like a little video. It's kind of like a sizzle reel they do every month saying what's coming to Netflix and such, and they did one for September, and there's a clip with Princess Carolyn. I'll put it on the screen right now, where she is basically coming back to her mother's house, but it's also a part of the flashback. You can tell because her hair is waved back like that. And you can tell based on the screenshot from what I remember that her mom, I think, is a drunk of some sort. Like, it's kind of some crazy stuff going on there.
As long as things don't become one.
Okay, so here's another cool thing. So here we go with Diane. Now, originally when I saw this, I assumed this means that Diane is probably going to go back home to her family and probably live with them because, you know, she's clearly not living with Mr. Peanut Butter since, you know, they broke up last season. So she must be going somewhere, right? So I assumed she was going back home, but I quickly had to change that based off of what's coming up. So you'll see.
A bit more complicated.
Okay, so that Bojack thing, I honestly have nothing to say about this. It's just some weird get up. I guess it's maybe for a Halloween episode, maybe. I'm not sure, to be honest. It's weird. Could be a hallucination. They do weird stuff all the time. Okay, so this is very important to, you know, Todd's thing. So Todd is still staying at Princess Carolyn's house. You can tell based off all the cat stuff, the cat poster for the movies, and of course the Princess Carolyn initials on his robe he's wearing. But the weird thing is why is his ex Emily here? Good question. Well, it's probably abundantly obvious that she still likes Todd and still would like to be with Todd, but there's only one problem. You know, Todd is that he's that asexual. You know, he ain't trying to get in those jeans, and Emily's like, you know what, I'm gonna make him get in my jeans, if you know what I'm saying. So she made this really weird sex robot thing with whips and dildos, butt plugs, all this. I don't know what she was thinking there, but I guess she thought that would somehow make him want to do it. I don't know, weird, but you could tell she's probably gonna have a problem with him hanging out with that one fish gal pal, you know. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So she moves out of Mr. Peanut Butter's, and this is some apartment, I'm assuming still in California since Bojack is here. But this obviously takes place before she gets her haircut, so that obviously happens, you know, long term after the breakup, after she's moved out and everything. One of the cool things, or not cool things, funny things about this shot is that she has a whole box dedicated to glasses. That's just wild. And then there's a box over here that says hats. Like, we've never seen Diane wear a hat, like, ever. So of course they scratched that out and like, no, get that out of here. It's jackets. She only wears jackets, nothing else. That's crazy.
Look at you.
Okay, so here we see Mr. Peanut Butter again, and I'm assuming this is either on set or it could be at Diane's apartment. I'm not entirely sure, but I doubt it's Diane's apartment because Bojack's wearing this now, whereas before he was wearing his OG outfit. So I'm just gonna assume this is on set since they're both in their, you know, outfits. I just had a weird brain fart there. I could not say outfits for the life of me.
Look at you skulking behind doors with a malevolent aura.
Okay, so this is a weird scene. I have no idea what's going on here. If you have any light to shed on this, please let me know. It appears that Mr. Meow Meow Fuzzy Face is under cover in disguise as he usually is as a teen. I don't know why he thought that would pass up, and he has a lollipop with a built-in microphone, right? So a wired-in lollipop, so he could record. I'm guessing they're doing some sort of pedo bust on this guy, or maybe a drug bust on this guy that was selling some type of illegal thing in a red van, and the cops are here, and I guess Bojack and Holly get somehow tangled into this whole thing, and you see them running away. So very interesting and weird at the same time. So we get a nice little transition here.
I'm a bad.
Okay, so this is a weird audio sync thing. I'm not entirely sure that he says this line at this like part. Like I feel like this is a different clip and they just put the audio from a different scene over it, because the line he says sounds like it would be something that he would say in Filbert, in the actual like shooting of the movie or the TV show or whatever, but he says it here and it just doesn't feel like that's where he would say it. Plus I don't know, like this is clearly Diane's apartment. He looks a little messed up. It could, I mean, for all I know, he could be saying that. It just seems weird that he would say that.
I'm a bad guy. And the world needs to know.
I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that. It could be like, now rewatching it, it could be in Filbert or it could be in real life. Honestly, it's either or. It's really up to the eye of the beholder, you know. This is definitely Filbert. Lighting pretty much says it all. Whenever the lighting gets all cinematic like this, it's probably going to be the shooting of the movie here.
The world needs to know.
Okay, so important thing about that note. So he gaps at it and he sees it. This I also have no idea if it's a part of the Filbert thing. I feel like it is because, you know, again with that lighting. But the weird thing is he hangs up the note in his office. And I was thinking, I was like, why would he hang it up in his office if, like if it was just for the movie or the show? Like, unless it had some importance to him, why would he hang it up?
The world needs to know.
Okay, so right here we see he's fighting the director or the writer, the dude who wrote the story of Filbert, and I'm assuming what happens is midway through the filming of the thing, Bojack's like, you know what, bump this. I'm not doing this anymore for whatever reason. And he's like, what do you mean BS? You signed this contract, like you're under my control. And then he's like, yeah, bump that. Princess Carolyn signed that contract and I'm getting the F out of here. And then of course they're not gonna agree, so they're gonna fight.
Are you keeping things together?
What's going on with you?
Okay, so this is also interesting. Obviously a hallucination of some sort. Like she's taken form of the posters. Like she has the foggy thing going on and the yarn inside of her. And Todd, I guess, has a big hand. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of really guessing with that one. But they're both at Princess Carolyn's house. Not sure why this is going on, but looks like it'll be interesting nonetheless.
Are you gonna be okay?
Okay, here's another thing. Okay, so like I said about that air balloon being important, it's outside right here. So this is obviously that same day, just at night. So he probably just got back. And if you look over here on the wall, what did I say? The paper is hanging on his wall in his office. Why is it there? I don't understand, because this is not the set. This is his actual house. So I don't know. Why is it there? Why does he hold it in such importance that he felt the need to hang it up there? That is the question. I don't know.
Be okay?
Okay, so we see Mr. Peanut Butter jump out of Bojack's window. How do I know it's Bojack's window, you ask? Because if you pause it... Oops.
Be okay?
Right here, you see him running to his aid. Now, to my knowledge, that window leads off the cliff that Bojack's house is leaning off of. So Mr. Peanut Butter might have just killed himself, if we're being honest here. Obviously, I don't think he's gonna die, but I mean, that's an unsurvivable fall, if you ask me. Okay, so here we see a bunch of hallucinations and stuff, probably a dream sequence. They like to do this stuff a lot in the show. And then I really like this shot right here, because it is very reminiscent of the Stupid Piece of Shit episode, which is one of my favorite episodes of the last season, mainly because how he's drawn here in these drawings. It's just like how he was drawn in that episode as well. Also, there's a person riding with him in this car. If I could pause it at the right moment. Yeah, in the back of the car with him. I have no idea who this character is. It looks like a female. She's wearing a fedora, all black. I can't pin a name on who this person is or why he would be dreaming about them. But it's just something to speculate on, I guess.
You say you want to get better and you don't know how.
As to what this is, your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea what this supernova explosion in the sky is, but yeah, that's pretty much the trailer. Wrapped it up. As you can tell, there really wasn't a crazy amount of stuff to get into, especially compared to last season. But that's mainly because the season before last ended on such a big cliffhanger that there were so many questions that needed to be answered. Whereas, you know, with this, there really isn't much left to be answered. We're kind of just in for a surprise on all fronts. We don't really know what's going to happen. We just know there's some things that could happen or could not happen. So I'm excited nonetheless. If you guys are hyped to see season 5 of the best Netflix show, I don't care what you say, hands down, this is the best one. Go ahead and drop a comment down below. Let me know if you saw something that I didn't. And leave a like on the video, because I watched this trailer 15 times. If that doesn't show dedication, I don't know what does. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.